Hey everyone, Theo here. Today I'm reviewing the UPERFECT UPlays C2, which is marketed as a portable gaming monitor. So this is a 16-inch IPS LCD with 2560 by 1600 resolution. The refresh rate is 120 Hz. And this is a review sample provided by the company. In this video, I just want to present to you my findings so that you can decide whether or not this is worth the money. At the time of this review, the price for this display is US $219 and they have a $20 coupon code. And I have a $30 one in the video description below for you, so that's going to bring the price down to $189. Alright, let me give you the bottom line up front. The UPERFECT UPlays C2 is a pretty good portable monitor that you can use for gaming. You can get up to 120 Hz refresh rate as long as your computer can go up to 120 Hz. There is Freesync, the visuals are sharp, the display is big enough, and the color support is pretty good. So right now I have this IPS LCD beside an OLED display, and the colors, as you can see, are quite comparable, even though the specifications for the colors on this UPERFECT display is not up there with the OLED. But out of the box, the colors actually look pretty good. The pricing seems quite reasonable, and UPERFECT provides 2 years warranty. You buy this from their website. Downsides: this display comes with speakers, but the audio quality is not good, and there is a folio case that's included, which is usable, but it's not that great. And now on to the full review. So these are the items included with the purchase. There are 2 USB-C video cables, which are 1 meter long each. This is a full-size HDMI to mini HDMI cable, which is also 1 meter long. A 20-watt USB-C charger, quick start guide or manual, the folio case, and of course the display. Let's look at this folio case, which is quite slim, and the exterior is this PU leather or synthetic leather texture. The folio has magnets which will snap to the back of the display, and this folio can deploy the display to 2 angles. This is the more upright angle, and this is the lower angle. If you find the folio flimsy, there is the option to purchase this VESA stand that UPERFECT is selling for US $35, and this will come with the screws that you need to install this to the back of the display. Installation is as straightforward as it can get. This is made with metal, so the build quality is solid, and this will allow you to adjust the display to different angles very easily. The VESA dimensions are 7.5 by 7.5 centimeters, so if you want to, you can actually get a VESA arm mount to mount this display. With this stand behind, obviously you will not be able to keep the display in the folio case. Let's look at the design of the display. So this is quite thin, so this is very portable and easy to bring around. On the left side, there is one 1-watt speaker, and there is another one on the other side. You get stereo audio, but the audio quality is so-so. The audio sounds slightly hollow, and the volume is not that loud. These 2 USB-C ports are interchangeable. If your computer can provide enough power to power this display, you just need to use 1 cable and 1 port. If your computer does not provide enough power, you will have to use 1 port for video and the other port for power input. And this is the mini HDMI. If you use HDMI connection, you will have to connect additional power to the display. On the right side of the display, there is a 3.5mm audio jack. This is the toggle navigation control for the OSD, and this is the power button and back button. I've just connected this display to my laptop using my own USB-C video cable. And this laptop is actually able to power the display from the USB-C or the Thunderbolt 4 port here. Design of this display is clean and simple. The bezels are quite thin on the sides. This is 6mm on the side and the top, and 1.5 centimeters at the bottom. The resolution is 2560 by 1600, and on a 16-inch display, all the visuals look quite sharp. From 1 arm's distance away, pixelation is not noticeable unless you are really looking for it. Aspect ratio for this display is 16:10, which to me is better compared to 16:9 when it comes to work, because given the fixed width, you get more vertical space to work with. And because the refresh rate of this display is 120 Hz, you can expect very smooth scrolling animation and zooming in and out. But by default, this is running at 60 Hz, so you will have to go into your Mac OS or Windows settings to change the refresh rate from 60 to 120 Hz. Now, if you are watching videos that are 16:9, there will be black bars at the top and bottom, but this to me is a non-issue compared to the extra space that I get for work. With my old Spider 5 Pro color calibrator, I measured color support for 100% sRGB, 76% Adobe RGB, and 76% P3. So the color accuracy for this display is not going to match Adobe RGB displays or OLED displays, but the colors on this IPS LCD look good out of the box. I measured a maximum brightness of 238 nits, which is sufficient for use in a bright room environment, such as the room that I'm in now. And this display is matte textured, and this is not a touch screen, so that's how the anti-glare looks. And the viewing angles, as you can see, is a bit limited in the sense that when you tilt this or look at the display from the side or like this, you can see the drop in brightness, but there is minimal color shift. So it's actually the drop in brightness that's going to affect the visual. So right now I have this IPS LCD beside an OLED display, and with a side-by-side comparison, I can say that the colors on this LCD is quite comparable to the OLED display. Now, if I have to compare these two more critically, yes, I can say that the contrast on the OLED is noticeably better. More specifically, the highlights are brighter and the darker areas are darker. But this LCD display does look really good, and I definitely have no complaints with the visual quality I get from this. Let me show you the OSD and the settings you can change. So just press the toggle by the side and the OSD will appear, and you can use the up and down navigation to move around, and press in again to change the settings, and press the back button to go out. So you can change the brightness, the black level, contrast, view mode, dynamic contrast ratio. I actually have no idea what black level is. This is the aspect ratio, energy save, which you can leave as default. So I actually use my own Spider 5 Pro color calibrator for calibration, so I don't have to calibrate all this RGB and color temperature, but you can calibrate the display using those if you want to. There is HDR mode, but this is an IPS LCD, so it's not true HDR. And there is volume control as well. And here at the bottom, you can see the display is running at full resolution 120 Hz. If you use Freesync, you will have to enable it here. If you use macOS with this display, you need this app called Better Display for proper UI scaling, because with the default UI scaling options from macOS, when you increase the UI or the interface, the visuals will look fuzzy, and this is not sharp. So you need that Better Display app. If you use Windows, you don't have any problems with UI scaling because you can get sharp visuals regardless of the scaling you use. It's just that macOS does not work well with 16-inch displays with QHD plus resolution. This display has FreeSync and refresh rate up to 120 Hz and 3 to 5 milliseconds response time. So this display is good for gaming. However, your overall gaming experience will really depend on how powerful your computer is. So right now I am playing this game Hades because this is the only game I can play up to 120 FPS. So if you can play games at 120 FPS, the animation is really smooth. It's so smooth. And I have this display beside my window so you can see the anti-glare. Let me pause here. So you can see the anti-glare on the side. So I will have to draw my curtains to remove this white haze, or just turn this away from the window. So my gaming experience with this display is very positive. The visuals are sharp, the colors look good, and the animation is so smooth. So this is a very satisfying display to play on. This is a rather straightforward product for me to review. It looks good, it works well, and I did not experience any issues while testing this. This display works great for gaming, and even if you don't game, this works well as an external display. Just note that if you want to play games at 2560 by 1600 at 120 FPS, you will need to have a powerful gaming computer. Alright, thanks for watching. If you guys are interested to get this display, you can check out the purchase links that I have for you in the video description below. See you guys in the next video. Bye!